I know that this was a product also. So if ever anyone has any questions, please raise your hands and then we'll get to you with a mic. I know that this was a product also of a trip to the Shanghai International Film Festival, some delays with Drift, if I'm right. Can you talk more about that? Yeah.
I think it's more of a product of being stuck in the pandemic for so long, you know?
Yeah.
I think this film very much came out of my existential crisis during the 2 years during the pandemic. You know, I just felt cinemas closed everywhere around the world and film production stopped, and I thought like this is the beginning of the end. And I was feeling quite lonely and depressed, and um, my wife isn't a filmmaker. You know, she has a proper day job. You know, she works in an office. During the pandemic, she was um, working from home a lot. She was actually putting on very long hours, and she was constantly on meetings. And I was just doing the groceries and cooking and doing the laundry and taking care of the kid. Um, and I saw like the whole world sort of turning into just the smartphones and streaming, and I was thinking like this is the end of cinema. And I don't think it's the end of cinema. You know, I'm very sure when cinemas reopen, people are gonna go back, but they might want blockbusters and spectacle, and I wasn't sure if I still existed as a filmmaker because I'm a very quiet, very delicate, very restrained filmmaker. So it really emerged from that, and I was reading a lot about. I was reading a lot of articles during the pandemic. There were a lot of articles that emerged about young people during the pandemic, whether in China, in Asia, in Europe, in America, in Britain. It felt like there was a whole generation of youth that felt they were having anxiety, they felt depressed, they felt let down by the previous generation, by society, by the government, by establishment, and there was this collective sense of melancholy, which, because I was quite depressed at that time also, I really connected with, and I decided I want to capture that in the film. I wanted to understand that. Yeah.
Now seeing the film, like after so many screenings, do you think has it gotten closer, like articulating that feeling?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know whether it's very odd. You know, I when I was writing the film, I wasn't connecting so much in such a personal way, but now, you know, the character of Hao Feng, you know, the guy with the glasses, you know, maybe it's age or something. There are moments now in my life where I'll be on a bus or I'm on the subway, and all of a sudden I would just feel so sad and I start crying, you know. I don't know. I think these days we feel very vulnerable easily as well. I don't know. It's for the audiences to tell me. You know, I feel like I make each film and I capture every frame with a lot of personal emotion. So, you know, whenever you look at my films, why the emotions are so raw is also, there's a lot that I give into the frame, and I hope people feel that. But the last thing I want people to feel like, oh, this film is about depression. But I don't think this film is just about depression. You know, I think this film is about, you know, people who are lost and stuck in their lives, and how you find sort of warmth and solace in one another, and how you find a way out of it.
Actually, I was about to point that out. Like, I think all of your films, one of the things that threads through them, even the ones that you produced, actually, including Ajuma from last year, this tension between like having a home and then the perpetual feeling of placelessness. I guess what draws you to that kind of thing. I know you also relocated from Singapore to London, right? is it also